be talking about playoffs, contention, that conversation, relevancy. It'd be great if that arrived early this year. I don't know, but I think it's the 2-year plan is more of the realistic focus.
So, Brodie, I was watching your Brodie's breakdowns on the Sharks YouTube page, and you were talking about the captain situation this season with Logan Couture going on to free or retiring this offseason. Yeah. And we have alternate captains with Celebrini, Goodrow, Ferrero, Wenberg, and Tyler Toffoli. So what do you think about the captain situation this season?
Yeah, it's unique, and the Sharks have gone like this before without a captain. I think what it came down to is that you've got Tyler Toffoli, who's a veteran of this league, coming up on 1,000 games, won a Stanley Cup. Certainly, like Uncle Tyler in the room, he plays that role to perfection, scored 30 goals last year, has a couple 30-goal seasons in a row now. He would have been a great choice of captain. But you also have Macklin Celebrini, who just turned 19, and, you know, the writing is on the wall. Someday, Mac is going to be captain of an NHL team, and I hope it's during his time here in San Jose. In fact, I hope the whole career's in San Jose. Like, bona fide potential of being the next superstar of the league. Not just the team, guys, the league. So you've got that balance of, well, we're kind of in between. What do? We also don't want to necessarily pin it on somebody either before they're ready or, in Toffoli's case, he's got 3 more years under contract here. So it just, there were a bunch of good options. I don't know that there was the one that was absolute fail-proof, foolproof, all that stuff. So they decided to go without the captain. Teams do this. It's that 5 group. Tyler's going to wear it for home and road games. Then you're going to have a 2-2 split between the other pairs of home and road. Mac's going to wear it, the A on his sweater at home. So you'll see that tonight if you're at the tank. But I think it was the right choice, guys. And captaincy in hockey is just different from any other sport. Football, you've got just multiple C's. You've got multiple captains. In hockey, there's only one C and a bunch of A's. You know, baseball and basketball. I wish they would get back to having team captains. I kind of like that, but it's just, it's important to the culture of hockey to have your leadership group. At least the Sharks have that.
Talking to Brodie Brazil, the Sharks drop puck tonight on the 2025-26 season, 7 o'clock at the tank against the Vegas Golden Knights. So you mentioned Macklin Celebrini. What needs to happen? I know he dealt with some injuries last year, still put together a really nice season. He's still only, 19 years old right now
19,
as they enter play tonight. What's next for him to become an NHL superstar? What does this season have to look like?
Time just needs to go by.
Yeah, he's on his way.
He set the bar so high, and it wasn't just scoring last year and playmaking last year, but it's also if you watch him without the puck, he's a two-way player playing defense on the other end of the ice. So he's got so many tangibles, but also intangibles to his game. And I want to caution everybody because as we've all seen, and I love to apply this to other sports too. How many times have we seen the sophomore? I don't even want to say it, but you know, like there's a sophomore situation. And especially when you've been so good. And the same thing with Will Smith, his counterpart and colleague. Like they had respectively different but great rookie seasons. So how do you back that up? Are you more of a target now for other teams? I think the best case I can say for these guys is that they already were identified last year as being who they were, being great players. Other teams already put the target on their backs before. So to say that, oh, they'll do it this year and it'll be the first time, that's not it. Their matchups, who they're facing, the circumstances, they've already gone up against some of the toughest in the league, and they've done well. So I just think it's maturity, getting bigger, faster, stronger, learning the game and all the tricks with it even more. I mean, it's almost a weird thing to say. Sometimes you can look at a player and say, I wish they were a little bit more that. For Macklin, it's I wish he were a little bit older.
Yeah, right.
It's as simple. Yeah. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, the time will come. So in the thought of that 2-year plan, I love that you made this analogy too. You said the 2-year plan, and then you just you used the Giants in 2010 as an example. When you mentioned the 2-year plan, I immediately thought about the 2009 Giants, who jumped from a team that was rebuilding in 2008, have, I think, 70-something wins. 2009, they go to 88 wins. They just missed the playoffs. You get another great year of Lincecum. Bumgarner debuts at the end of the year. Matt Cain is there. Buster Posey makes an appearance. And then in 10, to your point, they were a big surprise. They made a lot of additions. And there was a lot of veterans that they sorted through in that 2009 season. They found some in Guillermo Mota, and they brought new guys in 2010. But if we're going to use that sort of sport-to-sport comp, I mean, I'm looking at all the names they bring in. Jeff Skinner, Adam Gaudette, Philip Kurashev, John Klingberg. They bring in a lot of different guys this offseason. What do they need this roster to look like? What are they hoping these veterans bring to a lot of these young guys? Because it is a big drastic sort of 2 ends of the spectrum.
Stability, security, predictability. Like these are some veteran names that have been around the league and multiple different teams, and a lot of them are 5, 6, 7, 800, games into their career. Right. The Sharks need to have, and that's why a lot of people like tonight. I know there's Sam Dickinson and Michael Misa who did make the opening night roster. They'll get to skate out to the blue line tonight, but they will not, as we expected, they will not be in tonight's starting lineup. And a lot of people say, hey, wait, like, come on. If you let them make the team, have them in there, give us the excitement of opening night. Look, it's a tough physical matchup tonight against Vegas. You kind of want to save that, and that's, save them maybe from just all the extracurriculars and give them a nice soft landing into this season. So there's a little bit of that, but I think what you're looking for is to kick off this season with your most known commodities, right? And so that's kind of what, and I'm not saying they're like insurance, these players. They're supposed to be good leaders, good examples, but predictability, I think, is the biggest thing, is what you're going to get from a lot of these free agents and trade acquisitions. In fact, tonight in net for San Jose, Nedeljkovic is in there and Askarov is out. Aski's the guy who is the up-and-comer in the pipeline, and everybody's got a lot of high expectations, but the Sharks are going with their more veteran, more experienced goaltender just to settle into this season a little bit different. Long season, you're going to get a good look at everybody. So I think that's kind of their mindset in bringing in this group of veterans. I also want to throw this in quick. People ask me also, well, what other team do you compare the Sharks to right now? And I think this is an easy one for Bay Area sports fans. This is like the pre-Dynasty Warrior years. When you had Steph Curry, and knock on wood, Mac doesn't have the ankle injury that Steph used to have. And remember when it was Steph for Monte Ellis?
Yeah.
But you could see, and then a couple years later, you're drafting Clay, you're drafting Draymond, you're adding, Andre Iguodala and making a playoff push. And I know that first round, that one round and out year against Denver, but it's the start. Like, you can see, okay, I see where this is going. You have no clue where it's going to end up, but you can see it going in that direction. So we are in the pre-Dynasty Warrior year era. I hope that it leads to a similar type fate.
You mentioned the second overall pick, Michael Misa, and he's not going to start tonight. But what do you anticipate from him this season, and how much playing time do you think he'll get to start the season?
So he and Sam Dickens have an interesting thing going on where there's a 9-game window of opportunity because of their age, because of their experience. They also cannot play in the American Hockey League, which is the Sharks' top minor league affiliate. That's the San Jose Barracuda, which is so convenient. They're literally right down the hall from the Sharks practice facility. So they're getting a 9-game look. Now, tonight doesn't count. This is 9 games played, not 9 total games in the season. It's hard to know. Like, does he last the entire season on the Sharks? Do they pace him out? Do they keep him past 9 games? Otherwise, it doesn't count as his first year of the entry-level contract. Do they pace him out? Do they use him for the entire season? Or is it just a 9-game run that also gets stretched out? So hard to even fathom. Like, I'll have to answer that question after 9 games. But I think what you're looking for is a player who belongs. And last year with Macklin and Will, they were the 2 rookies that jumped right into the NHL. And they were fantastic in 2 regards. Mac was good from start to finish. Will had kind of a slow start, but by the end of the year, it was no question he belongs there, and you can see his role and his fit. So I can't even give you the specific on Misa or Dickinson, other than to say you need to identify that, okay, they can handle this league, they can handle the travel, they can handle the workload. It's a condensed season because of the Olympic break. Can they handle